Let's roll. Welcome back to the Quaddie Poddy. Cashy, joined by my brother, William Cashmore, brother Mock, not by Nick. He is living it up in Thailand at the moment. William, how are you?
Going well, mate. That double take looks to be more successful now. Excited to be here. I think it was this day a few years back where you had me on for the Hunter, and we had a bit of fun that day, and I'm excited to be here again.
Yes, we did have fun that day, and we've already had fun at the moment. If you're listening on Spotify, you won't know this is our second take at this. We went for about 3 minutes before we realised the good
flowing,
people the good people on YouTube had no idea what was going on because there was no microphones coming through to them. But yeah, mate, you're back. You haven't been seen on the mock pages for a couple of years. You were a consistent feature on our show for about 4 weeks there.
Yeah, back in your youth. But you've really expanded these last few years. You and Nick have been getting that ball rolling extremely well, and it's a bit of a proud older brother moment.
Yeah, you came in a bullet a gate. I believe Nick was on a golf trip. I feel like that's the reason you first got your first run. And you tipped a couple of good winners on Champions Day. You had Rock and Horse down the straight, and you thought, oh, well, I'm the best in the world here. I get horses. I'm better than you. I'm better than Nick. Get me on the show. Get me my own segment. And you had Will's weekly winners, and you didn't tip a single one. So it didn't last very long, did it?
No, it didn't. I'm very confident when it comes to the horse I like. On the cards I enjoy punting on. And, yeah, it's been a really fun spring, and hopefully I get a few winners for the punters today. Cup week wasn't successful for me, but that just means we bounce back today. And I'm very confident in the picks I'm going to send your way, punters, in a moment.
Yeah, it's going to be good. We're going to be going through the Hunter card and anything we like over at Caulfield for CF Orr Stakes Day. Just quite frankly, just some awful racing, to put it bluntly, after the highs we've had for the last few weeks. Absolutely spoiled we were for the last few weeks.
Show a bit of respect, mate.
And this is where the carnival starts to take a bit of a dive because, you know, traditionally – Grand Final Day was Champion Stakes Day, but in the last sort of 5 or so years, they've tried to extend it a couple of weeks. Some years it's been really good. This is one of the years that it isn't very good, as you'll see.
I'll stop you right there and throw one word your way. That's value, okay? Just because it's Grand Final Day going past, that doesn't mean there's not value out there.
Yeah, but yeah, so hopefully it all goes smoothly with the second take now for your punters because we've got a lot of tips coming your way. Indeed. But first off, we do need to touch on the weeks that was last weekend. Champions Day, what a day it was down in Melbourne. 5 Diamonds Day brought us 3 winners. All at decent value as well. I will say that. There was definitely a few horses that I didn't find because there was chock full of value on that card and we got nowhere near the quaddie, and I don't think anyone else did since it paid $35,000.
Sure, Timbers.
But yeah, Melbourne was unreal. Just kept delivering and delivering and delivering. And I guess we'll just go over the 3 main races for the day. First off being Giggy Kick in the Champions Sprint. My goodness, what a race.
Yeah, I really should have been a bit more privy to the conditions that were likely for that day and just paid attention to his wet form a lot better. I liked Jolly Star. He was my Everest tipped and was a big fan of the spring that Jolly Stars had. But didn't quite stay it out in the wet conditions. He kicked far too good there on the day.
Yeah, he was. And, gee, didn't I get excited because both Nick and I were on him, and according to everyone else in the world, that meant it was guaranteed to lose because of the hate that we do get out there in social media world. But it got up by a nose as well. Probably helped that Tentaris was scratched at the barriers. It did say, they said, hey, if it's heavy, we're not running. And then they were like, okay, we are going to run, even though it's heavy, and then ends up getting scratched at the barriers anyway. So I feel bad for the people that took him all in. But Giggy Kick just dug and dug and dug and dug and got the job done.
Yeah, a horse I actually really hope challenges the Everest next year. Didn't go against Kaying Rising this year, but if he can get another crack at him, get another crack at the Everest, I think that's going to be a really interesting challenge this spring, this time next year.
I do think that he probably could have done some damage in this year's Everest.
Absolutely.
The only issue obviously would have been second up off the 1 week back up. It would have been an interesting setup. And I respect Clayton Douglas for just backing his horse in and going, you know what? No, that's too tall of a task. We're going to stick to our plan. We're going to go first up here, then the Champion Sprint, and then over to Perth. So he should take Perth by storm, you would have to think.
Yeah, Champion Sprint win is probably, you know, almost on par with that Everest. I think it's still a very high quality race on a very important day in the spring racing calendar.
And then we go to the Champions Mile, and boy, what a race it was again, but not for the reasons that a lot of the everyday punters would think, because Mr Brightside did 2/5 of fuck all.
I didn't know we swear on this podcast. That's
yes, we swear on this podcast now. We just
Bloody
don't. We don't drop a C bomb. We don't drop the R bomb. As a couple of listeners will know.
Sometimes I can't even think what you're referring to.
Good, so don't drop it.
Yeah, righto.
But yeah, Mr Brightside, disappointing. The weight of 1,000 multis on him, and he did absolutely nothing. I don't know if it was just he didn't get through the conditions. Maybe he's just too old. Maybe also chasing Jenny too much out of him, and it cost him the race. Maybe it cost Treasure the Moment the race as well.
Yeah, probably.
Pride of Jenny, back to being Pride of Jenny. You never know what she's going to do, what Jenny you're going to get on the day. She's still racing on though, because of course she is. She's never retiring, and I just hate
sending
that.
Her to Perth?
No, I don't think they're sending her to Perth, but I do believe she'll be racing on the autumn. But yeah, Chairwolf comes home.
Yeah.
And another phenomenal race. And who would have thought Pericles was the one to challenge it down the straight?
Pericles actually had a really brave and honest spring and challenged in some really good races, just missing that win. So it actually really doesn't surprise me at all that Pericles was right in there at the finish. Chairwolf, I think, has really earned the respect of the punting world. I think his last two victories, because I kind of looked past both times without much thought. But really taught me a couple of lessons this spring. I was there at Randwick on Everest Day when it got its win in the Queen Elizabeth, I believe it is.
No, the King Charles.
Sorry,
wrong monarch.
Similar, there you go. But was powered home that day against Brightside. And it was just too good at Flem last week.
You'd have to think he just tags Jenny wherever he goes. His best runs in his career have come when Jenny set the pace for him. So you'd have to think he just follows her everywhere she goes now if they're both going to race on. Joe Pride got a bit lippy on Twitter in the last few days because of it. His son tweeted, "Oh, this is the showdown we need to see, Autumn Glow versus Chairwolf." And then everyone went back at him. He goes, "Mate, we saw it in the Epsom. She blitzed him." And then Joe Pride, geez, he did not take kindly to that. He was, let's just say the end comment to put an end on that conversation was, your mum can explain it to you. So Joe Pride threw a your mum joke out on Twitter, which is just phenomenal. But it's cheeky, Joe Pride.
That's insane.
Racing Twitter can get fiery at the best of times, but for Joe Pride, renowned trainer, to be throwing out your mum jokes is next level.
I feel like Nick would have really appreciated that joke in Thailand. Hopefully, somewhere he's listening and getting a good kick out of that.
He's currently on the golf course in Thailand. He's currently
him and Sam. Does not surprise me.
Good luck, boys, out on the.
Is he over there with Mr. Horner?
He is. He is.
Shout out, Sam.
So you're not going to be hearing from Nick tonight. Obviously, he will be sending in his tips. You will see them on our socials. Anything he likes, especially in the Great Spring Tip-Off. He is about 40 points behind me, so he will be chasing roughies, and he will be eating chilies in a few weeks.
Have you got some graphics for me for this week?
I will have to make up some form of graphic for you, mate.
Nice.
But yeah, if you can hear in the background, punters, some sirens going past. I don't know what's going on there. And then we'll quickly touch on Via Sistina. They got to $2 on course, which is just absurd. It's the best horse in the country versus the worst field she's ever seen.
Yeah, that's just a bit silly.
Was always going to win. And saluted Julie.
I mean, still has to get the job done, I suppose, as any horse does. But colour me shocked when that got over the top of them by, I think, 3 lengths in the end.
Yeah, it was never losing.
After seeing the likes of Brightside, Treasure of the Moment, Pride Jenny not handle conditions at all, really quality horses, and then just to see an absolute legend like Via Sistina, just the speed it was still getting through the line on that track that had just been torn to bits after the week Flemington had was really quite incredible. So, unbelievable win again for the superstar Via Sistina.
She is like everyone again, like we'll be like, oh no, she's fallen off a cliff. She's done. And wins the Cox Plate, does what she did. Like, she is the best horse in the country. They
absolutely.
reckon she'll race on in autumn, and that'll likely be.
Yeah, I saw those Waller's comments today, and doesn't surprise me at all.
Doesn't surprise me.
Hopefully,
you wouldn't think she'd be racing on as a 9-year-old mare. It's time to probably breed her. So one more 12 crack at the
12 Group 1s. Could it get to 15 Group 1 wins, or not quite that many Group 1s in the
she'll target her. You'd have to think, what would be her sort of setup? I mean, I think she'd probably resume in a Group 2, then go to a Group 1, Yeah, she'd have to be perfect, but she can reach 15.
Yeah, cool.
Because
That'd be really good.
Yeah,
That'd be
she
cool
will
to
actually. She'll,
That'd have to be close to a record. Good
I do
Lord.
think
15 Group
the
Ones.
pattern will
Fucking
probably be Group 1 very elegant into I can't remember what it's called, but there's a Group 2 race in there that she's probably going to line up in, and then she'd probably go to Golden Slipper Day and then finish off on the Queen Elizabeth. So yeah, definitely can get to 15 Group 1s. Main thing I really liked out of that day is the clips have gone viral all over socials. We took one off TikTok, and the Tab of all things wanted to collab with us, but shout out to Wowee Mr. B on TikTok for the original credit there. But the crowd and Champions Day, so
that looked
young,
outstanding.
so passionate, so into it, getting amongst
It looked
it.
on
It's
track,
so
on par with Everest
unreal.
Day. Put it that way.
Like
the youth and just the exuberance in the crowd, man. It looked like a great time.
Like, and
especially with the weather. Like considering how much fun it still looked like they were getting out of the day. Good to see.
Like I've been a part of a good couple of crowds in my time, and that would, if I was there that day, that would go straight to number one. I reckon best crowd I've ever been a part of was probably the year Nature Strip won the Everest, because I was in GA with a lot of people that had loaded Nature Strip. So the celebrations were pretty big. And then a very close second would really have to be Golden Eagle Day when Autumn Glow got up. Like, we were on the post every single race, and it's been a while since I've been on the post. Like, members must be nice. I've been up in stands and whatever.
Yeah, you had fun.
But we were on the post for the whole day, and everyone was just winning. Everyone was getting around here. Shout out Dicko. Like, everyone was just getting around it. Like, and the one thing I will say to all these racing bodies that are like, why can't we get young people invested in racing? Why can't we get them to the races? Why do we only get them one day a year? I think the Spring Carnival as a whole really shows that if you build it, they will come. Rain, hail, or shine, they will come. If you put on good races with good horses and market it well, like Everest Day is always going to be packed.
Youth. Marketing's everything, right?
Everest Day is always going to be packed.
Yep.
Like, that's always going to be packed. Golden Eagle Day should be packed, but they're going to have to change things up. Golden Mingle didn't really work. Cox Plate Day always going to be packed, right?
Which one was that? Sorry,
Cox Plate Day is always
100%.
Melbourne Cup Day is always going to be packed. Derby Day is always going to be packed. Champion Stakes Day is always going to be packed, but with more traditionalists, you book someone like Fisher, you're going to get tons of young people there. They had Fisher there, and that's what people were going just for Fisher, and then the races just happened to be a side effect.
That's like Happy Valley. I was there a couple of years ago in
Exactly.
Hong Kong, and like the sort of DJ sort of festival vibes that the ATC and the Racing Victoria is trying to get more of a vibe in the crowds. That is something they should keep looking towards sticking on with, I think.
100%. Like, you build it, they will come. Young people do love the races. They love the punt, but you need to make it worth their while. You can't make it more expensive than just going to the pub with the boys. Well, it's always going to be more expensive, like exuberantly more expensive.
Yeah.
You need to be able to have them punt, drink piss, have a good time, have a party, and the races will be packed week in, week out. Obviously, you're not going to get that on a random Saturday in summer.
January.
You're not going to get in a random Saturday in the middle of June. No. But during autumn, during spring, those peak times, you shouldn't have to rely on maybe 2 meetings out of the 15 that you've got during those carnivals.
Bloody oath.
To not be packed. You can have them packed all week. Sorry, every week during carnival, you should be packed. You just got to make it worth their while. That's just my opinion. As we move to the hotline, we've got plenty as well. So let's get stuck straight into it. For those wondering, we are probably going to be going a lot shorter than usual because we're going to whip through these tips, because we're going to talk more about the races that were and the hotline and listener questions more than the actual tips, because like I said, not a great day at Newcastle. But we're starting off with the man, myth, the legend, Stocks Bloodstock.
G'day, boys. Geordie from Stocks Bloodstock here. How bloody good was the Flemington Carnival? It was unbelievable. Versus Tina. Shit in.
Fuck yeah, bro.
And Gear Kick was really good. But we move this weekend. I've got the multi of all multis. S Cargo's a Gunda guy on Friday.
Whoa.
To Meridiana at Newcastle on Saturday.
What?
It's paying about $4, $4.50. About $5. That's a lock.
A lock of Gunda guy.
That is a very, very tasteful multi for me this weekend, boys. But yeah, I hope you have a good weekend on the punt. Cheers, boys.
Well, there you go, punters. My advice is get away from Gunda guy, but if it wins, it wins. We'll see.
Yeah, I like the moxie.
Daniel Edwards, how are you going here?
G'day, lads. Long time listener, first time caller.
Unreal.
Just thought I'd give out a little brag. Nothing to do with the Spring Carnival. Day after Spring Carnival, Titan Cup down in Victoria. horse that I've got a few shares in with a few of the footy boys. Treated itself to a win with Big Nash on board, family friend of the trainer. If anyone was looking to get into buying
Things
horse
are cotton.
shares, you don't always have to go to the big trainers.
Unreal. And yeah, 100% correct. You don't
Yeah,
always
mate.
have to go to the big trainers. We got Richie Litt, obviously. I mean, was a big trainer. Like, he's won a few Group 1s. Like, you can't ever deny that he has won some big races.
Yeah, absolutely.
But these days, he's more of a boutique trainer down in Warwick Farm. He's no super stable like Kieran Maher or Chris Waller. But we're still expecting, some great results to come out of the horses we've got with him. You do not always have to be with the super
Nah, very
stables.
respectable trainer, Richie Litt.
Born for neck.
Hey boys, hope you had a good weekend. Obviously, Mr Brightside. I'm gonna have to swear here, boys. I apologise. Fuck me, Dad. Like, oh
Don't blame you.
God, I'm
Owes
so
me a lot of
glad
money,
he's
that
out in
horse.
the paddock. Like, genuinely, every time I'm on him, he's shit. Anyway, scrap that. In the Hunter on Saturday, so accredited. Which is actually a horse, like the horse my uncle owns. My uncle and Pa, they
Unreal.
actually own him.
Could be a big day.
So, yeah, it's heaps good. He's a really nice horse. I reckon he's got it. He's been placing heaps, winning. He's
They all
good
make
at that
good last starts.
distance.
Best
Newcastle
horse.
is a tough track,
Bloody hell.
but just he's going to give it a crack, and I think he's paying $7 in the market. So yeah, a bit of insight for you boys that my uncle and Pa actually own him. So yeah, boys, get on him. Cheers.
Trust the omen. Like it.
Unreal, mate. We are going to be touching on the Hunter in a bit. Tom Ingersoll, I already know what this is going to be about. He's the Middle Earth owner, so he's going to give us a bit of shit here. I
Good
guarantee
World
it.
Cup
I'm
day.
a week late. Sorry, I've had a big week, but I just wanted to wind back the clock to the first Tuesday of November when we witnessed Middle Earth's top 3 run in the Melbourne Cup, and just kind of wanted you boys to shove that where the shun don't sign, because you boys were both saying she's a pretender, but this time next year I'll be celebrating it. Not a top 3, but a victory, hopefully. So
Never doubt Kieran Maher.
Lots of love.
That towards a lesson, eh?
Well,
Fair enough.
I mean, big call to be going to next year's Cup and winning it, but good luck. I really do hope
I like
for the best of you.
confidence, mate. Very good.
Lockie Howard.
Afternoon, boys. Obviously, the Flemington track was an Olympic pool on Saturday.
Strong.
Shea Wolf wins. I still don't know what to think of that because he's been pretty shit all spring and then wins the 2 best smile races in the country over the Spring Carnival, which I don't know what to make of that. I think Giga Kick, is he actually back or did he just take advantage of the weather on the right
gonna say
day?
yes.
Is he going to be able to do it on the good tracks against the likes of Jimmy, Jolly Star, Briasa, our top sprinters, even tempted in the Autumn Carnival? What do you guys think? Is Giga Kick back or has the weather just given him an extra boost? And obviously his first win, he versed C-grade sprinters, in my opinion.
I think Giga Kick is back. Yeah, you have to say he's back. He's a champion sprint winner. I know that it was a so-so field and the weather got in the way there and Tentira scratch, but you still got to say he's back. I have a little qualm with what you said there, Lockie Howard. You called Briasa one of our top sprinters.
Yeah, I also thought that was a bit.
Briasa's shit.
I wouldn't say shit, but-
Okay, yeah, maybe a bit harsh there, but I've never rated
Relax.
Briasa, and I will continue to put shit on Briasa. I do not think that horse is one of our A-grade sprinters. We don't have many A-grade sprinters, and Briasa's not one of them. B-grade is at best for Briasa, in my opinion.
I think you're a little harsh there saying it's not an A-grade sprinter. I think it probably belongs in the A-grade class.
Nah.
Is it the best fit horse in the A-grade class? Obviously not. Its Everest run was underwhelming. I'm going to touch on that later. But I still think it deserves a bit of respect, mate.
I just don't think it's
Not on the levels
A-grade.
of Jimmy Star. It's not Jimmy Star level. No way. And I don't think it's quite above a Giga Kick. But I think, back to your question, Giga Kick, Brother Mock says he's absolutely back.
I just maybe.
Or she.
Well,
I think
maybe I'm gonna have to sit down and I'm gonna have to rank our sprinting ranks because I just don't think that he should be in our A grade because I don't think there is many A grades. I think you got your Jimmy Star A, you got your Jolly Star A on her day.
Yeah.
What else we got? Giga Kick A. I mean, I guess you could say Tempted now A second.
Yeah, for sure.
Second in Everest.
Tentyrus,
Probably, yeah, if it comes back in the autumn and is able to do it against older horses because Tempted proved itself against older horses.
Absolutely.
I think, Briassa's firmly in that B camp with your Lady Shenandoahs and
Shenandoah, not an A. No way.
Yeah.
Now, okay, maybe if you use that logic, I don't completely push back too much on that there.
Not an A
Richie?
grader. Not an A grader. We go to Corey
A-.
Thompson.
B+ player.
Hey boys, no my racehorse news this week from me, so I thought I'll just call up and give some shout outs about some horses and some jockeys from the weekend. First off, shout out Damian Lane and Treasure the Moment for pressuring Jenny into that shit that she did. So also shout out Chad Schofield for getting suspended for over whipping Chaelwolf. But I'm absolutely happy he did that. My bank account's very happy he did that.
Good
So
stuff.
shout out him. Who else? Shout out LL Kants for being shit as always. Personally, I want him on the fraud board. So if you want to do that, please be doing that.
I like this bloke.
Shout out James McDonald on Jolly Star for absolutely killing my multi. Fuck you.
More
Shout out
this guy.
Shout
Who is he?
out.
Big fan.
Shout out Via Sistina.
Yes.
That was an absolute lock. Absolute lock. Shout out Pikey for losing in the last. Fucking dickhead. And also shout out the Captivine Colt. You should be
sound like
getting
an
named
experienced
soon.
punter, mate.
I'm very happy about that. But if it gets named Rob, I'm actually going to lose my shit. Whoever suggested that name, fuck you. And if it gets named Rob, I will be selling my share to someone else.
Thank you, Corey. Always a joy. For those of you who don't know, the Captivine Colt that we bought with Monarch is getting named. One of the submissions was Rod or Rob. So, I mean, we voted for
Just
it.
simply Rob.
Yeah, we voted for it. We voted for
Darren Flindell, have fun with that.
Cappy Chappy,
That's way better.
Smashing Machine,
Oh, that wins. Wins. Next topic.
and then Rod.
Yeah. Not the 3-letter one.
So yeah,
Not that.
those are the three that we voted for. We'll
Yeah.
see what we get in the end. And then Jake to finish us off.
Hey boys, Jay again here. Great week
Jakey.
of racing. Bit of rain in Melbourne, but Chaelwolf, mate. It's like that horse has realised you put that horse on fraud watch and it's come out and it's run unbelievable
I know,
last
that
two
horse
starts.
hates
And
us, man.
only up for that horse, and the trainer wants to go a Via now, so it'd be good to see how good it is. A Via is a benchmark, and I don't think Chow's far off it now.
Ain't beaten Via. That's all I'll say.
Oh, not a
But I mean,
chance.
look, a lot of you mentioned the fraud board. I don't have it with me, unfortunately. It's still in the studio. So if Nick is not here next week and we're still out of studio, I will go get it and we'll go through a sort of spring review for who's leaving spring on fraud board, who is officially a fraud. Please comment all over the socials, wherever you want to comment. Who should we be putting on fraud watch to end the spring? Who should we be putting a line through to be officially a fraud? We want to know, because there's a few names to be going on in the last couple of weeks that we haven't put on it because I just don't have the board. I've got a few in mind that I want to put on there. So please let us know who is going on fraud watch going forward.
The goal is that Brother Mock doesn't go on fraud watch after today. That's all I can
Yeah,
say.
gee, good luck. You were on fraud watch about this time 2 years ago when you wanted to get involved. All right.
Here we go.
Quick fire listener questions so we can get into these tips. Prior to Jenny should be retired or try to become a sprint horse over the 1200,
That'd
says
be
Lachlan
hilarious.
Williams. I mean, I wouldn't put it past Tony Otterbury. Cello Laguna, sorry. Thoughts on the whip rule? Should they be harsher on jockeys for going over? Tough one. So the big charging was the fact that Chaelwolf got whipped too many times and Chad Schofield got fined basically a third of his winner's purse because of it. So a lot of people have been arguing that if you're going to enforce the whip rules, should they not be taking the race off the horse and downgrading it to second or disqualifying it altogether?
I reckon disqualifying it altogether is really not that bad an idea.
I mean,
Like, as people have said throughout the week, you straight away bring in that disqualified rule. They're not going to do it. They're not going to risk breaking and bridging that rule. Otherwise, they're screwing over a lot of people, punters, trainers, owners. Like, imagine the first rider in a big race to get disqualified for breaking that whip rule. Especially if it was on a fave with so much money invested. That'll make headlines.
I think that might be something to look at, but you've got to look at all of the intricacies of what happens if that's the case. So is there any insurance for the owning connections? Is there any insurance for punters? Like, do they just get their winnings stripped off them, or do they get a refund? Is it avoided bet?
Expertise.
Again, that's why I'm not really going to comment, because I'm no racing authority. I don't really know what goes into those decisions, but I do think they do need to be harsher. If you're going to enforce it all the way. But how they do that, I can't really come up with any sort of logical ideas that someone isn't going to come along and poke holes in.
Yeah, super fair.
Jimmy Star into My Gladiolor, the best bet of the carnival from Charlie Callan. Good potential.
Big call.
Tim Smith, what's the potential breakout star for the autumn other than the obvious ones? I think Pier. So, I mean, the obvious ones would probably be, any of the 3-year-olds, like a Tantyrus or
that's
whatever.
Not a bad shout. I was on that. It's lead-in run to the Eagle. Didn't quite get the chocolates. I was on it for a bit of value against Autumn Glow in the run before the Epsom. And great horse. Like, honest as, gives its best every time. Don't know if it's quite going to be the star of the autumn, but you could do worse with that idea.
I'll say she's a sort. Shout out Monarch Racing.
Charm, yeah.
I mean, other than that though, gee, what horse is really just like on the up though? Point Barrow is a nutcase.
Point Barrow,
absolute
really
nutcase. Does
Point Barrow.
everything wrong, but like clearly has an engine
That was
under the hood.
Powerful win at Flemington.
Just loves to run all over the track. Does Point Barrow? Observer also, if it can sustain itself after a Derby win. We spoke to Harrison last week, that seems to think he is going to go on with the job, and hopefully he does. We need another good, staying middle distance horse.
Yep.
I'll stick with those.
Still thinking Point Barrow's run on Oaks Day, and watching it on my computer, thinking that this thing's going to fall over. It's just going every which direction, running the crowd, and it gets wins.
Nutcase of a horse.
Unbelievable.
Absolute nutcase. Adam says, sad news for Cashy. Revengeance out of the slipper race with a bone chip.
Stop it. No way.
I haven't heard anything about this. If that's true,
sad.
I think it does wonders for that horse, though. No horse really does a golden gift slipper double. No horse that really debuts this early really does well in the slipper. And honestly, I've been saying Osmosis vibes. I'm not saying he's my next Osmosis, but like the way that he looks, the silks that he wears, the way that he runs is very Osmosis-like. And Osmosis also missed slipper season with an injury. So all I'm saying, Osmosis vibes. Darcy Daly says, how good is Yao Moreira slaughtering a sure thing in the 10th at Rose Hill last week? Yeah, Yao's not been at his best. He really hasn't in the last couple of years, has he?
No, I've relied on him a few times lately.
Ryan Lawrence, why does Giga Kick winning get me so bricked up? Respect.
Nice.
Respect.
Like the honesty.
Adrian, Jimmy Star a lock? We'll touch on that later. Haydos Kingy, how are you, mate? G'day, Cashy. What were your 5 top moments of the 2025 Spring Carnival?
Great question.
And I'm going to leave that for next week for our spring review.
Yeah, that's a thinking question,
okay.
I think.
That's spring review. We always go through our best horses of the carnival, our best moments, our best races, our worst horses, worst moments. So stay tuned for next week. Hopefully Nick's back there to give his thoughts.
Worst horses.
And does Joker's Grin beat Giga Kick in the West when they meet in the winter bottom? Maybe. Just maybe. I would think that if Giga Kick gets over there in one piece, he makes a mess of them, but
crazy week, isn't it? Joker's Grin.
Happened.
Saw that in the field for one of the listed races this week.
Yes. So
group races,
the only other thing to really touch on was also Jamie Mellon finally copped a suspension for causing Blake Shin to break his leg. So you're not going to be seeing Jay Mellon in the form guide for a while, month off. But to be fair, I don't think she cares after all the money she won in the last couple of weeks.
No, she'll be enjoying those spoils, I dare say, Miss Jamie.
Yes, she will. All right, let's get into it. Newcastle, we're going to whip through these. There's not much to talk about when it comes to Newcastle. But, it's always a tricky day. Let's try and find some winners here. The track report, weather is fine. Potentially a shower late on the day.
Prepare for good.
But the track should be good for all day. The rail's in the true position. Good thing about this weather is that it might rain on the day. It's I would say it's the best draining track in all of New South Wales.
Goodness.
Like Newcastle drains very, very, very well. And
good to hear.
So race 1, we go to the 900-meter Max Lees Classic for the 2-year-olds. Tough race. They're all unraced, as they always are, and they rarely ever go on to do much of anything else. Apart from Cylinder, who won this a couple of years ago. Cylinder obviously kicked on to do quite a few good things
Yeah.
in its career. But yeah, I've settled on Pomelo Chamomile here. Chris Lees trains it, so you'd think he'd want to win it for his
Good
dad.
pronunciation
Obviously, Max
too.
Lees is the father of Chris Lees,
Yeah.
for those of you who didn't know. Plus, the horse should be really close up on the speed, I think, and that's really where you want to be in these sort of races. The last few winners of these races have come from riding the speed. So, I mean, and he's booked Tim Clark, who is one of the best 2-year-old jockeys in the country. So there's some clear intent to win this race here. $6 to win, $2.05 to place. Happy to go each way there in the first.
Yeah, never an easy race to analyse with a lack of racing experience. The Max Lees Classic at Newcastle. Gain Adrian struck with Revengeance in the Golden Gift we just talked about. And they've got Elio here, but I think I'm steering clear, even though it's drawn gate 1. Don't really like. I think there'll be too much pressure on it just down the outside. And Threesome beat at home in the last trial. I think Nick was on that in the gift last week.
Threesome, yes, he
did
was.
not run well. So yeah, really against Gain Adrian's hot fave or hot horse, Elio. I'm going to go number 4, Tenenbaum. Andrew Atkins rides. Jockey has been getting, I think every week in this spring he's been getting better and better. Andrew Atkins, a bit more faith in him. So he's jumping from gate 8. I reckon he'll get plenty of room out there to work through the ground. Move pretty strong to the line as he has, winning both lead-up trials. Brad Widdop trains, who won this race in 2022 with the fast-finishing Fire Lane. So I think $7 a win for Tenenbaum. Really good value to follow to get Hunter Day off to a good start.
Well, there you go, mate. Take us through race 2.
Yep, next up, it's really tricky benchmark 72 at the mile. A few horses out of the 4 Pillars race here on Eagle Day, which I know you had a bit of success with on Son of Deck.
Oh,
So,
yes, I did.
Yeah. For this one, I'll be simplifying my approach and just relying on the class and form of T. Berry with number 9, Strawberry Impact. $2.25 currently. Probably under the odds, I think, a bit, but he's definitely an honest horse. 7 Quinellas from 10 career starts. Just the one win from those. And I think, but I think he might just need the mile on good ground to finally salute again. Definitely thinking he should feature in any place multis punters want to have here at Newcastle for today.
Yeah, look, I very, very, very rarely go for a favourite in the midway, but this horse rarely puts a foot wrong. And so also has solid form behind Rotagilla, which I like in a race later on in the card. So I'm happy to be on Strawberry Impact as well there, mate. We go race 3, 1,600 metre tab highway. Tough race with a lot of solid chances, as is every highway as the donkeys go around. I've set it on 1 at odds here. Much like last week, I went some big odds in the highway. They didn't get up and they didn't place. I was really looking for a place there from the horse that I tipped at $12 to place as it came home for 4th.
Shit.
But
Not bad.
I mean, one follower, shout out to you, James Ford, had a great cleanup by putting 2 of my roughy picks in a top 6 same race multi, and they both came to top
Were
6.
there like 6 horses in that race?
No, it was like a 12-horse field. They were paying $80 to win and $60 to win.
Yeah, right.
Came top 6. The multi was paying $20. Then he cleaned up.
Well done, 40.
So there you go. That's why you listen to Cashy's roughy tips. I'm on Craft here at $19 to win, $4.50 to place. Ran terribly first crack at the highway, but then went back to the country for a great confidence win on Cup Day at Canberra. So I'm happy to give it another chance here. There's no speed draw on the inside of it, so I should get up on the pace and hopefully kicks all the way down the straight. And the market has just had a change there. It's actually gone up to $21 to win and $4.75 to play. So Craft for me in the highway.
Yeah, okay. For the highway, eyeballing only a couple here. I think Upwardly Mobile is still the fave. Been really competitive in 3 city highways this campaign without a win. Problem is, though, it goes up in weight and gets to a distance it does not like. 2 goes at 600 metres and no results there. So I actually like another horse at odds here. I only go number 12, Sweet Treats. I think presents terrific value. Currently at $16 for a win with rising apprentice jockey Braith Knott. Mare draws nicely in gate 7 and is crucially, I think, 2 from 2 at the mile. Coming off a strong win at the mile at Sapphire Coast a couple of weeks back. So I think she's the one at value to follow here. So 2 real good value picks for us, I think, in the highway, Mitch, which is, I think, exciting to see.
Yeah, there you go, mate. Take us through race 4.
Race 4, benchmark 78 over 1,400. And again, I'm going to go Tommy Berry again to pick up an early double. So limited quality form lines in this field. So, yeah, by no means is it a standout selection. But Berry's ride on number 5, Ruby Serve, for me looks the most solid, paying $5.50 for a win. Consistently honest here at her local track. 7 trifecta appearances from 10 starts. I love my stats. You can clearly see, punters. But again, just the one win. Usually improves third up in the campaign. And I think the class of Berry will get her across the line as she aims to improve upon her wet track appearance on Golden Eagle Day, where she was beaten 7 lengths. Conditions that day were against her, and she's far better on dry ground.
Well, there you go. I've set it on Dancing with Who's, $9.50.
Yeah, that was my other pick that I
$2.82 place. Ran really well last start,
race.
just missing his favourite at Scone. Jockey didn't really put it in the right position and copped a suspension from it as a result.
Nice.
So
Fun.
this time gets to reunite with a jockey that has some success with it, has won it on it 3 times. Yeah, so I mean, I'm happy to be on it. Gets to a track as well that she does some of her best work. Happy to take each way there, Dances with Hooves. Race 5 here, 1,600 metre benchmark 78. A bunch of horses that were in the 4 pillars a couple of weeks back, including the Quinella. And the winner I had him, Son of Deck. Again, that was lucky, though. I won't hang my hat on that. I was on Alabama State before it scratched. Shout out to you, Pilco, if you're listening. Alabama State's still stiff. Let the boy draw a barrier. Come on, man. He's going to win a big race one day, Alabama State. But I'm on Rotagilla. I'm not on Meridina. I'm not on Son of Deck. But yeah, Rotagilla won its race on Golden Eagle Day in style. Doesn't find that much of a harder field here. So, I mean, yeah, should be up on speed. Hopefully kicks away from them at the right time. And Rotagilla takes the chockies.
Yeah, I was on that its last start, and it was pissed in at Randwick last time. Very good win there. So another race, another tough race, this one. A lot of 4 pillars, 4 mixing in. For me, I'm going to go the Chris Lee's trained mare, number 10, Claire Encore, at a bit of value. Admittedly, she is up in class, but with a recent win over Son of Deck, who she meets here again, I think jockey Dill Gibbons can get her sitting pretty gate 5. And if it's able to find space in the straight, I think she can be real strong to the line and present value at that price. Certainly not one of my more confident selections on the day, Mitch, but I think the race is called the Lee's Racing Legend Mile. So I'll employ a touch of a bit of omen to get her across the line.
I mean, if anyone's interested.
And Claire, Miss Mock, get on that as well.
If anyone's interested, it means absolutely nothing. But this horse was also briefly in the Golden Eagle field before it scratched.
No shit.
Because it was paying like 5,000 to 1.
There we go.
Nah, but it was paying like 150 to 1, and it eventually scratched because they knew they had no real chance.
At Newcastle.
Yeah.
Today, eh?
Take us to race 6, mate.
Yeah, let's go. They're getting a little bit more serious now here, punters. Benchmark 88 in race 6. This one, I'll go with number 5, Glad You Think So. Josh Parr rides for John Sargent. Ran a close second at Randwick over 2,000 metres on Golden Eagle Day. I was on the horse that pipped him, actually, so it was a nervous watch for me there. Both horses strode straight to the line without anything following it. So naturally, I'm going to follow that form. He comes back in distance a touch, which I think is probably a good thing as he's drawn wide again. And critically, though, he rides at a track he likes. 2 wins from 3 Newcastle starts. Josh Parr also been on top 2 of his 4 career triumphs. So that fills me with a lot of confidence as well. I think he's a worthy fave at $3.90. I just hope he still has a bit of gas in the tank after the heartbreaker last start. What about you, Mitch?
Hollywood Hero for me.
Yeah, been on that before.
Poor thing just keeps running into a few better in its career. But I mean, finds a super winnable race here, hence why it has so much weight. Connections would have been absolutely spewing to get beaten by Osipenko of all horses last start, as it had to drop way down in class and carry a ton of weight just to get a win.
60 plus, yeah, seriously.
I think it carried like 64 kilos or something ridiculous, but we won't complain. We were on Osipenko that day, but Hollywood Hero here. Well drawn, well placed, can win. $7 to win, $2.30 to place. As we move to the Group 3 Spring Stakes, race 7, one of the better races on the card, all the great chances, and they'll probably kill a few quaddies. Super scared of Verity, and I will kick myself if it wins and I've gone past it, but I have set it on green spaces in the end. $4.20. That is really on the up. Godolphin horse that got moved to Bjorn Baker after it was taken off James Cummings when James Cummings went over to his Hong Kong and they went to the public method, and it's been doing wonders for them. These horses, under the care of other trainers, have been just winning non-stop, including this horse who won nicely last start, can go on with the job now. And there's 0 pace in this race. This is the only horse that loves a bit of pace. So definitely could play a bit of catch me if you can, and hopefully they do not catch him down the straight green spaces.
Yeah, mate, I'm going to cut to the chase very quickly here. You don't have to worry about kicking yourself if Verity gets up. I will kick you as hard as I can instead, because number 10 Verity is my value play of the day. Honestly, it's probably going to be my best as well at $10. And
best bet of the day.
Honestly, yeah, I absolutely.
Damn.
At at Newcastle. Jimmy Star we'll talk about later. But for the Hunter card at $10 and from gate 11, I think you might have a few let's start that again. You might have a few suspicions, I think, punters. But if you can, go and find footage of her last start win here at Newcastle. Soft ground that day, and she never stopped chasing, digging in down the straight, getting to the wide alley where she'll find herself again likely, and ran over the top of them. That tells me that her gate won't be an issue, and on the surface with less sting, I think on the weekend she can run a huge race. The rise from Class 1 to listed company certainly is steep, or Group 3 company, certainly steep, but I'll be looking for a really brave effort, and I can see real potential in this lightly raced Paul Massara filly. Ash Morgan rides and has one on her before. Really, really like Verity here.
Shit, boy. Well, good luck. Race
Can
9.
you tell?
The listed Beaufort, 2,300 meters, another race. They could end up killing a few quaddies, but I'm going to be on the favorite here, Mason Louise. I really like this favorite here. Ran super behind Attrition and Lindemann 2 starts back. Attrition went out and ran excellently in a Cox Plate. Lindemann arguably could have won the Cox Plate if it got the breaks there. You'd have to think it's probably the inform horse of the spring. Like the next start in the Rosehill Gold Cup that was run at Randwick, won by Rotten Verney, ran terribly. There were a lot of punters on it. They were going, what was that? Turns out, choked on some grass that got kicked up into its mouth. So,
no way.
Yeah, that's the biggest forgive you've ever seen. So, yeah,
God,
goes
funny.
up in distance, down in class, $4.80. I'm all over him. Mason Louise.
Yeah, good. Not too bad there, Mitch. Don't hate the logic there. One lesson for me, punters, that I've learned this spring is that Adam Hieronymus, and I hope I pronounced that properly. Sorry if I haven't, Adam, if you're listening out there.
He's not listening.
Well, he might be. You never know. Typically good for at least one winner on a Sydney Saturday Metro meet, or I guess we had Newcastle now. I think he waits till race 9 to get it today. Number 3, Future History. It's a horse I've been with before. I think it's got real class edge over its opposition here. So at $5, I think the Mar horse is a great shout. Hasn't been as strong this prep, but might just have been looking for the extra distance at 2,300s here to stay the course and get a win.
My cup horse a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I know. You've liked it in the past.
Did nothing that day. Just nothing. I've had a couple of bad runs with the cup. Akita Sushi was really good last year, but Presage Nocturne no good, and then 2 years back, Future History no good.
Great horses.
I need to really get my my cup eye in because I've cursed the last 2 winners.
We'll get there, mate. Plenty of time.
Last, I'll just go quickly for this one because I'm on Brave 1. Drops 7 kilos, 200 meters. Jumps 200 meters. Short price, but warrants the price tag. I'm happy to take him $3.10. No effing around in the last. Yeah, Brave 1 for me.
Yep. Race 10, benchmark 94. I'll go the informed jockey Zach Lloyd to grab a few late spoils on number 13, World Alliance, trained by Matty Smith. Hasn't saluted for a while, but is honest. Draws well, gate 6. Gets a bit of weight relief from his last effort at Randwick on Everest Day. Definitely one of my less confident plays today, but I think there is some value here at $8.
Well, there you go. That's the Newcastle rundown. Now we go to the Great Spring Tip-Off. We've got 2 races of the 3 races left, I believe there is, in this competition. I believe the Gong is the one and only race next week. I just off the top of my head can't remember if Victoria throws one at us. I don't think it does, though. But there is a minimum of 3 races left. Maximum, I think, 4 at the very most, in case Victoria's thrown one at us. But yeah, the punters at home that are in the Great Spring Tip-Off, there's a hell of a race at the top, including myself. The best I've ever done in a tip-off. I'm third. I'm third in my own competition. How funny would it be if I actually win this thing? Don't worry, punters. I won't be running off with the $3,000. There'll be something special coming if I do manage to win. But one thing I will be winning is the tip-off between myself and Nick. There is no chance he gets 40 points back. But, I mean, he does have jokers left. He has 2 jokers left up his sleeve using these last couple of races. And if he hits a value one with a joker, I might be eating my words and eating the chilies for the Spice gauntlet.
You're all right with that, though. You like Spice.
Yeah. So Caulfield race 8, let's just go through it really quickly. CF Orr Stakes.
Yep.
I was going to leave it to last, but when we found out that it was a 7-horse field and it's essentially a match race between Angel Capital and Jimmy Star, would think that the analysis would be pretty short. But, I mean, some nice horses around it. You got Vinrock there. You got Evaporate. Mighty Ulysses could pop up and play a lot of spoils if it really put in a good run. But, I mean, you'd have to think it's between Jimmy Star and Angel Capital. Who have you sided with?
Definitely, mate. I'm with Jimmy Star in this one, despite how short he is. Very little needs to be said about the quality of this horse. He's a star, relishes the extra furlong at 1,400. should be winning here. No need to mess around there. Punters, I recommend getting him in your multis for a win for sure.
Yeah, look, I won't be mad if Angel Capital gets up. I do have a multi running in my personal account of Autumn Glow in the Versestina in the Cox Plate into Angel Capital on this. Gets me a nice payout, I will say that. But, I mean, if it wins, I'll be cheering, but I will be on Jimmy Star. Jimmy Star, A grade, one of the few A grade sprinters we have, but also because it was originally a horse that was more suited to the 13, 14, 1500, is perfectly fine at this 1400 meter distance.
Stats blew me away.
I mean, there is nothing to say that this horse won't run unbelievably. I'll be jokering it as well because if a win will only get me 3 points, but I'll take the extra 6 points if it wins here and doubled up with my last joker. I've gone bang bang with my 2 jokers already. Jimmy Star was the last horse I used a joker on. Happy to joker it again. I'm very confident that it gets up here. But I mean, Angel Capital would have given the Golden Eagle a shake, in my opinion, if they'd gone there, but they bypassed it. They've ended up here. They're probably absolutely ruining the day since Jimmy Star's ended up here as well. They probably thought they had a free Group 1 here. So now they've got a race on their hands. But yeah, I think this is a lock for the Quinella. Evaporate's probably a lock to be the trifecta. Pick whoever you want to be the first 4. But yeah, it's Jimmy Star's race to lose, Angel Capital's Quinella to lose.
Yeah,
you have
absolutely.
to think. Let's go through the Hunter. There'll be a bit more to talk about. Not a lot to talk about. It's not an amazing race, but still some solid horses.
I feel like the field this year definitely doesn't inspire as much as it has in the past. I mean, Coal Crusher's the fave, and it's 9 years old now. Like veteran, exciting.
Can someone remind me?
Good to watch. Good to watch it go around and have another crack. But yeah, no, like not a super inspiring field. I feel like in the past it's definitely had a bit more flavour to it. The Hunter field.
Someone remind me. I need to look up this.
Has won in the past.
I was going to say, was Zaki in this race? But no, it was Lost and Running. Same
Lost
silks.
and Running got that win, I think.
Yeah, it was.
After they had a crack at the Everest that year, I think. I might be wrong there. But yeah,
no, that was the year I think it scratched from the Everest and then backed up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was going to say, I was like, I feel like Zaki was in it just because of the silks, but no, it was Lost and Running. Then you got Iona Merc, Robusto, Coal Crusher, Estadio Mistala, Airman, Golden Mile, Ostraka, Brudenell, Darnation, the German horse, which is random.
God, be cool for that one.
Sefrado, Accredited, Conasana, Fearson, Yorkshire is your favourite there at $3.60. Infancy, Clear Thinking, Felix Majestic, and Romeo's Choice for Richie Litt rounding out the field there at $126 to 1. Thoughts on the race?
Yeah, mate. I think we talked about him earlier. Browser won this race last year.
Shit horse.
Yeah, underwhelmed in the Everest, of course. For me, look, in terms of the tip, nothing jumps out straight away. I think there's many different form lines that have been brought into this race. For that reason, probably a few that could win without surprising too much. I've landed on number 7, Ostraka. A few things will really need to go my way here. Typically better fresh compared to a few runs in, like he finds himself here. I'm going to bet on the hope that Adam Bell and Rob Archbold has really held him tight for this race as the main target before he probably heads for the paddock. If Jason Collett can get him and just hold him back and not over race, I think he has plenty of potential to get up at $9. For me, his competitive runs against the likes of Lady Shenandoah early in the spring does it for me. His race against other Everest runners throughout his campaign didn't disgrace himself. For me, across the contenders, that looks the best and most eye-grabbing form. Collett as well, if we're going to go to the stats, 2 wins on top from Ostraka's 5 career wins. So that's another thing I do think goes in Ostraka's favour. What about you, mate?
I hate to be that guy, but I've got the favourite Yorkshire. I looked through it, chock full of value that we'll cover in the quaddie. Shout out to my guy who owns Accredited, but unfortunately we've left him out of the quaddie, so you might go and kill ours there, mate. We just couldn't pick everyone. It's such an open race. But yeah, Yorkshire, it's done nothing wrong.
Who's on Yorkshire? Is it Lloyd?
Zach Lloyd.
Yeah, nice.
I mean, sticky barrier out there from 13, but I mean, never placed out of the trifecta.
John O'Shea going well.
Loves the distance. John O'Shea. I know that this is a jumping off point to look for the Ingham later on so they can get into the Doncaster. But I mean, well weighted, well placed. I mean, first up, 1 win, 1 second. Likes the conditions. I mean, it was the boom horse last summer, and it is going to probably be the boom horse this summer as well.
Oh, you could do worse.
Purposefully
certainly do
dodged
worse.
the Spring Carnival so they could target these summer races to again build the horse's confidence to try and get that Doncaster spot so they can come around and have a real crack at autumn. I mean, Cliff Thinking's a good roughy chance. Accredited's a good chance. Brudenell, I wouldn't even be surprised to pop up here and spoil the hearts
Ammon,
at
I
$41.
don't think would stun me.
Ammon probably wouldn't stun me. Estadio Mastala wouldn't
Lambo.
stun me. Cole Crusher wouldn't stun me.
Robusto wouldn't even surprise me, to be really
Robusto
honest.
wouldn't even stun me. Any of these horses can really win this race, which I know is boring that I'm going the favourite. And it's not even from the fact that I've got to try and like brush off Nick now. Because again, Nick, you're not catching me, brother. I hope you're looking at this in Thailand right now. You're not catching me. And I know that now he's probably going to put a joker on a Brudenell that's going to win, and he's going to shoot forward 80 points on me.
I think that'd be unlikely.
But yeah, you know what? I keep an eye on the socials, but I wouldn't be surprised if he gets on Estadio Mastala for Lambo, our football coach that we keep referencing. But his tips will be up on at the Mock Sports on Instagram this Saturday. But yeah, Yorkshire for me. And I mean, that really caps us off. We've got a few things to touch on. We've got around the grounds. We've got the Quaddie and our best. Did you find anything around the country other than the feature races?
Mate, honestly, I'm going to go back to what I talked about earlier. Very big fan of number 10 in race 7 at Newcastle, Verity. And I'm going to go.
I'm not talking about the best roughy best, but that's later, William.
Oh, sorry. I've got
Anything around the country.
I'm just that
Listen.
excited at Verity. No, we mentioned him earlier. I think Joker's Grin's can be very hard to beat in Ascot as well. Saw him in as one of the big players, one of the group races over there this weekend. Got probably a few more targets for the Perth Carnival coming up. So I'm going to look at Joker's Grin, maybe even have that in a little multi, probably a place. Ascot and Perth racing has given me a lot of the shits over the years. So I probably won't be confident enough to go a win, but I think it's certainly a horse you can put in as a place for a few multis out there. So I'll go with Ascot Joker's Grin.
There you go. I've got Caulfield Race 4 Beast Mode, $3.10 more than 1,000 meters.
Beast Mode was on that last start. Good horse.
But can get to the 1,100 meters, hopefully, and then should be beating them. She's bulletproof in the 6th. There's a mock horse from way back. We love backing She's bulletproof.
Ben Allen on that again?
I think so. Nick would be all over this horse if he was here. So, and then race 9, we got My Gladiola, was mentioned earlier. They reckon My Gladiola into Angel Capital, wasn't it? Was the best of the
Jimmy Star. Jimmy Star into My Gladiola.
So, I mean, good luck there. So those are the only 3 that I've found there. As we go into the Quaddie, the Newcastle Quaddie here, race 7, we've got Green Spaces, Verity, Grand Prairie, Rosa Incanta, 1, 3, 9, 10. Race 8, we got Yorkshire, Clear Thinking, Estadio Mastala, 4, 7, 14, 16. Race 9, Mason Louis, Future History, Naval College, Grand Piero, 2, 3, 5, 6. And race 10, we got Brave 1, Mayfair, World Alliance, and Wind Chat, 4, 5, 13, 14. $50 gets you 19.5%. As always, no Melbourne Quaddie this week. We only do that for the big days. Now, William, you get your best bet around the country. If you're having one bet around the country, who is it and why? And who is your best roughie around the country and why?
Look, if I was going to have one bet around the country, I'm not going to steer too far away from one we've already talked about in terms of the best bet around the country. I think it is the superstar Jimmy Star at Caulfield on the CF Orr. I'm just not going to mess around there. He's short, deserves to be short. One of the big chances I had in the Everest to try and beat Carrying Rising, as we've mentioned, does not mind jumping up to 1,400. I think if we, as I said, best bets, a big call because it's got to be a very good horse. But I mean, look, Jimmy Star is. So I'm definitely going to go with Jimmy Star as my best bet of the day at Caulfield and anywhere around the country. And if we're going to go value, I will mention again, if you haven't realised already, Verity, I really love race 7 in that group 3 at Newcastle. So it's currently $10. Is that enough odds for a value play, would you say, Mitch?
Wouldn't say it's a roughie, but we'll allow it, mate. We'll allow it.
All my other tips at Newcastle, like I said, I'm very confident on the horse.
Doesn't have to be one that you've necessarily had on top.
Mate, well, it doesn't matter. You know me. I'm very confident on the horses I think you're going to win. So if you don't really pass $10 for Verity as a value, just go back and think, what I have race 3 in the highway. I really do like Sweet Treats, $16, 2 from 2 at the mile. So I like that. It's for a bit of value as well in the highway.
There you go. My best bet around the country, race 9 at Newcastle, Mason Louis. I just really like the form behind Attrition and Lindemann there. So $4.80 currently, might even get out wider. I think, wouldn't be surprised to see this over $5. on the day. And, you know, this is probably one of my wider best bets that I've had. But yeah, Mason Louise is my best bet of the day. Best roughie in the last. Mayfair at $19. Ran excellently behind linebacker first up in the Silver Eagle. Golden Eagle, just everything went wrong. Ended up having to get pulled out of the race there, so came dead last by 30 lengths. But I mean, now gets to have another crack at a race that's in weaker quality and, you know, gets to potentially show the class that it used to have before it sort of fallen off a cliff, and then Bjorn's brought it back now. So yeah, Mayfair at $19 would be my best roughie of the day.
Back beyond the last. One of my golden rules of punting.
Well, there you
Not
go,
the worst
punters. There is your Hunter preview. We'll be back next week. Hopefully, Nick is back.
Hey.
We keep saying hopefully because it's touch and go. It's how his flight goes. It's how he's feeling after pulling up from Thailand, because he arrives back Wednesday Sydney time. We're still not quite sure what Sydney time he gets back and if the jet lag will be allowing him or the hangovers will be allowing him to be presentable. But yeah, we'll be doing a big spring review, best horses, best moments, worst moments, and then we'll be previewing the Gong Day at Wollongong before we set sail until you hear us for Magic Millions Day. But again, guys, if you're still listening, give us a like, give us a share, give us a subscribe. We're still on the way to 1,000 YouTube subscribers. We've hit the 100 5-star reviews on Spotify. Thank you so much, guys. We really do appreciate it. If you are gambling this weekend, please do so responsibly, but you can sign up to dabble with the code Mock Sports to let them know we sent you, and make sure to be setting a deposit limit if you do so. But yeah, all of our quaddies, all of our multis, all of our bets on racing, NBA, cricket, whatever we want to bet up, it's going to be there. So please get around that. But yes, William, what do you have to say to the punters, if anything?
Good luck this weekend, punters. Gamble responsibly as always. Had a good time here, Mitch. Always happy and keen to jump on when you need me. It was good fun. Let's do it again sometime soon.
We might have to do it next week, but we shall see. See you then, punters. Good luck.
See you later.